Hello guys and welcome back to Jack Mate's Happy Hour. Not the happiest hour. There's been a lot of hard-hitting points of topic here.
Yeah.
But you hooked us.
Here we go.
Go on.
Okay, so on to the next one.
Yeah.
The hook. 2 young lovers are parked in a makeout spot when a news story breaks out on the radio.
Mouse house.
A killer has escaped from custody, with his only distinguishing feature being a hook in place of an amputated hand.
Can I just say, if you're 2 young lovers, right, which is only, a couple is only ever described as 2 young lovers in horror shit like this, right? Yeah. And usually they're at a fucking drive-through cinema. That's the only time that's used. If a murderer's on the loose, have a night in.
Yeah, but Netflix. They didn't know. They're already out at the makeout.
Netflix.
They're already out at the makeout point. You know, back in the old American...
It's just hearing you. It's funny because hearing you say the makeout point is something I can imagine you saying. Like, I was at the makeout point the other night, guys.
I promise I've kissed a girl. But you know, like in the old American films, they'd all park their cars, not dogging, but like just kissing each other in the cars.
I don't know how you draw that.
Never saw that in Greece.
That's
anyway,
the origin of Greece.
Back to the really scary story. With a amputated hand, hook instead. So the young woman feels really unsettled by hearing this, and scared, she asks her boyfriend to lock the doors. The thought of the hook then crashing through the window terrifies her too much, so she begs him to drive her home.
Sorry, what?
So
I wasn't listening.
Brilliant.
Fuck me. So focused on drinking.
I literally was reading the Evian poll. Sorry. Tell me again quickly.
So glad you asked me to do this research.
I was going to say, I'm so glad that he didn't ask me.
The young woman's really unsettled by hearing that there's a murderer on the loose.
Yeah.
So she asks her boyfriend to lock the doors.
Naturally.
But then she gets really worried that the hook could just smash through the window.
So she knows about the hook already?
Well, they said it on the radio.
Oh, it came through the radio.
Yes.
Right.
So she begs her boyfriend to drive her home.
Okay.
The boyfriend's really annoyed, but he agrees, because obviously he thinks he's about to get some.
Yeah.
They get home, and she gets out of the car, and as she shuts the door, she notices a hook dangling from the car handle.
What? So he was the murderer?
No.
Oh my God.
The murderer was about to get them.
He was about to try and get in, just as they drove off.
Oh.
And she's seen the hook on the
pulled his little
door.
hook off.
I'm not going to lie. When you first mentioned hook, I thought you were going to talk about Abu Hamza. So where's this going?
So that's the story. What do you think for believability?
I've heard a different version of this.
Why is it an urban legend now?
Why is it an urban legend?
But I thought an urban legend, now we would have to go on and see hooks on doors. Like,
no.
That an urban legend is a thing you take.
No,
Otherwise it's just the story.
Well, that's what an urban legend is, essentially.
Yeah, so the reason behind this, you can't go and do something, but it's a story that was told for many years, and it kind of stopped people from going out to these places because they were worried about going there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't got the hook no more, so what the fuck does it matter?
He's just got a nut. He's got a nub.
Okay, fine. Let's ignore the hook for a second.
He's going to fist bump me today. Mind you, if he's going around fist bumping people to death, I guess he is an urban legend. Sorry.
God. Okay, let's ignore the hook specifically for a second. I have another one that's similar up in my old brain.
Yeah.
And it's 2 lovers at a make-out point.
Nice.
Are we not rating?
Yeah, because this you've just quashed that, so I'm just saying that it's not specifically the hook story, but that's one of many in a similar situation.
Good.
So another one of the same is it's essentially called Knock 3 Times.
Hook 2.
It's definitely called Knock 3 Times.
It's called,
you're just trying to think of a title and you went Knock 3 times.
And basically the story goes really similar.
Right.
They're out at a make-out point, but the car won't turn on. Same kind of thing happened on the radio before they couldn't get it back on, saying there's a murderer on the loose.
Yeah.
Get safe. Can't get safe. Get to a safe place. I'm just trying to quickly tell this so we can move on.
Get safe.
Get safe.
Yeah, just want to let you know, everyone out there, get safe.
There's been an ISIS attack on Tower Bridge. Everyone, if you're in London, get safe. See you later.
I'll see you next time on Drive Time.
You can imagine Tony Blackburn. Get safe. Get safe. Get safe. Anyway, here's Wham. Sorry.
You know, he's just sitting there going, I fucking nailed that.
Right. So they're getting safe.
Well, they're trying to. The car won't start. The boyfriend leaves the car. Well, the boyfriend goes to look for help, but locks the door and says to his girlfriend before he leaves, saying, "Don't open the door unless you hear 3 knocks. Get in the back seat, cover yourself behind the chair."
Oh, so I'm gonna show you it's me by knocking 3 times.
Yeah, specifically, you know it's me if there's 3 specific knocks on the window.
No windows, and can't she just look out and see if it's him?
No, because she's hiding in the car just in case anyone looks in. She's hidden below like blankets.
Because they're making out.
No, because he's gone and there's a murderer on the loose.
Just go with him.
Yeah, don't leave her in the car. That's the worst thing to do.
Either way, that's part of the story. But it's about the whole make-out point again. And then a little while later, she starts to hear... I actually know what this one's called. It's called Don't Look Back. She starts...
Tony Blackburn.
Get safe.
She, a little while later, she starts to hear some knocking. And she hears it once, doesn't move. Hears it twice, doesn't move. Hears it 3 times. She's about to move and then hears the knock again. So she stays completely still. And then she starts, about 10 minutes later, loads of knocks come on the window. But then she hears someone shout, "It's the police, it's the police. We're fine." So she gets out of the car and they grab her and just start walking towards the police car and just say to her, "Don't look back." And then she obviously does. And she sees her boyfriend hanging from the tree above the car, and the knocking she could hear were his feet scraping against the roof. That one you didn't like as much, did you?
I know that.
Yeah, so that's a similar story, same kind of thing.
So there's 2 other ones that I've heard. That's class, though.
Yeah, I like that one.
There's one with the first one that you said about the hook on the handle.
Yeah.
The guy goes for a piss, comes back to a bloody hook, and his girlfriend's gone. That's what I'd heard.
Yeah.
And there's another one similar to that. It's a murderer's on the loose, as always, and there's a girl driving her car, and she pulls into the petrol station, gets gas, and then is driving back, and basically she's being like hounded by this truck. And every now and then this truck will flash a light. She's like, "What the fuck?" So she speeds up to try and get home to her husband. Every now and then, flash, this truck. And she's like, "Fuck, is this like, why is he doing that?" And she gets home. This truck's followed her all the way. She's fucking panicking. Sprints out of her car. Husband comes out. Guy comes out. Basically, what happened was the murderer got into her car at the petrol station, and every time this truck flashed, it was because the guy was fucking raising the axe to hit her in the back of the head, and then it sort of like deterred him every time that it flashed.
Because then she'd see it.
No, fuck, not light.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an axe-wielding murderer, you're not going to be that bothered about the headlights.
I mean, after 1 or 2 flashes, you might go, "Oh,
I'm used to it."
Strangely enough, I debated putting that in my list of things, but I knew they'd slag it off for that reason, so I didn't.
I'll take the bullet.
There is a bit of there's a strange origin behind that one, though.
Oh, is
that people used to do that to like hitchhike rides because people would never let them, so they'd just hide in the back and then get out next time they stopped. One guy did it to a policeman and he got shot, and it actually happened. Like, he got in a police car, but like obviously an undercover police car, and the guy shot him because he was like, "You're trespassing, you're in my car."
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Let's go back to the forest, the make-out point.
Yeah.
Believability.
For me, it's slightly more believable.
Let's ignore the hook specifically. Let's actually just think of a make-out point murderer.
That's class.
I don't want to ignore the hook, because that's like trying to fucking rate Shrek with ignoring the ogre. That's the integral part of the story.
Actually, I've told you the same story of Don't Look Back.
You've just blown that out. Oh, mate, I just thought, I fucking loved that. The hanging, the knocking. I thought, fucking sick. Where's he getting the dexterity from with a lack of a hand to hang a man?
No, because that guy doesn't have it. That's a different story. Similar situation. He doesn't have a hook in the hanging.
Oh, right. Sorry.
It's a different murderer, yeah.
The separate guy, the guy that hung himself.
That hung the boyfriend.
Oh, he got hung, did he?
Yeah.
I was
He
going to
didn't
say.
hang himself. He didn't just go, only come out if I've knocked, or let me hang myself to make sure she thinks I've knocked. Believability.
I like that one a lot.
Let's go believability of a murderer at a make-out point.
No, because that's not the story, Stevie. The story is, if you're asking me, could there be a murderer at somewhere? Yes, there could. But it's about the hook.
Okay.